Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday Tirade Entertainment Talk Show. We are featuring two of the members of Midnight's Edge. I appreciate both of them being here. We're going to start off first with Andre, but I want to say hi to everybody and say thanks for being here. Andre, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
And I have to begin with saying you've been absolutely crushing it lately. Awesome videos that you've been putting out. I've really enjoyed them, the ones that I've had the time to see. Because I've been busy myself, of course, but what I have seen has been awesome. So, massive kudos.
Well, I appreciate you being here, and I hope everything is going rather well. Did somebody invite a guest?
Always.
So we have a special guest in the back?
Of course.
Jamie Gonzalez.
Hello.
Oh, that's not who I invited, but okay.
Oh.
Nice to see you.
Sorry, I saw this link in the other stream. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here or not.
Oh, well, this is the Tuesday Tirade Entertainment Talk Show. Do you have something to add to the show?
Oh, awesome. No, I just wanted to say hello. I'm a member of Midnight's Edge, and
oh wow,
because it was in the member stream chat.
link.
Sorry about that, Culture.
Oh, no problem. I'm a member.
That's my fault.
I'm not, don't worry about it. I'm a member over there as well, Jamie, and I have to say that I appreciate that you're a member over there. We're going to be going through a bunch of red ink in Hollywood, so if you want to be a member of the audience for now, that would be great. I do appreciate you stopping in, though.
Awesome, yeah. I'll join the channel. Thank you for all you guys do.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, thanks for popping in. All right, take care.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. And we have, oh my goodness, it is Mexican Iron Man, the #1 fan of the CultureCasino.
I don't know how he got the link.
Apparently, it was just
I'm already busted.
Well, I'm glad we're having guests all over the place. I didn't know. So
I'm just embarrassed about that. I'm so sorry.
I'm just here for 1 minute because I've been wanting to be on the Tuesday Tirade forever. Now I can say I've been on it. All right, I'm going to the live stream. Bye.
You little turd, get back in here.
No, why?
Well, we only have Andre for a limited time, so I'm going to set aside the show.
Go hang out with Andre.
Mike, you're welcome to stay here, indeed. And we look. The whole point of this particular show today is to talk about just the flow of red ink that's coming out of Hollywood. I think maybe only the top 10 movies this year actually made money. Do you guys think that's probably accurate?
I think so. I think that's a very, very good assessment.
Yeah.
Because when you look at almost everything that has come out, the only thing that's made any money are like the really massive hits. You have your Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
You have your Spider-Man No Come Home. You have your Doctor Strange just barely, but beyond that, once you get beyond that, it's a different matter. Certainly the profit margins, they sink into oblivion right away. Like, for instance, let's go further down the list that you have here. You have Jurassic Park World's Dominion. This did pretty okay, but relative to how much it would have cost to make, are Universal happy with it? I don't know. Minions, now that's a money earner because that didn't cost too much.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Dominion, that did $1 billion worldwide. So of course, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. But were they hoping for more? Perhaps.
JP made $1
Minions.
billion too. Yeah.
Yeah, Minions,
Yeah.
of course.
80
That's a cost. Didn't cost so much to make.
Yeah.
Production budget to 80 million. So yeah, that's ka-ching right there.
Yeah, and I really do believe that once you get past 10, which I guess arguably Elvis could have made a decent chunk of change, because it only costs about 85 million, and it made almost 300 million globally, 282 million. It probably made some money, but I think after that, Andre, I think nothing made any money. I think this Uncharted film did rather poorly at number 11. $120 million budget. It may have broken even at 400 million. What do you think?
It may have broken even, but it didn't do what it was supposed to do. It didn't earn back what it was projected to its investors that it was going to earn.
You needed to flip the domestic and the international, and then maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of how I'm looking at things nowadays. I'm looking at these numbers going, okay, this was not a win for Sony. Sony didn't have a lot of wins this year. Neither did Paramount. Paramount put out Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Didn't really have a big winner there, but it still made a profit. But then you go to Nope. 123 million, 48 million, cost 66 million. That one may have made money, but not much. I don't see any of these other films on this list, and I think that's the point of the conversation, right? The films like Fantastic Beasts and The Secrets of Dumbledore, that made 95 million domestic. Worldwide, it didn't make nearly as much as it needed to. $404 million on a $200 million budget that lost money. I don't think there are any films out there that really performed well for Warner Brothers, that, outside of, Paramount's big win with Top Gun.
Check out Smile. What was the production budget of that one? Because that shouldn't have cost so much to make.
Oh, it didn't. No, this one definitely made money. This one made a ton of money. $17 million budget.
Yeah, and to me, that is the lesson that we can learn from the list that you have right here. The only way that you are going to make any money, or you made any money this year, is if you either had like a really huge runaway hit, or you kept your budget in check. Because look at Smile.
Yeah.
Now, it has a box office which is far smaller than most of the other movies that we are referring to right now as flops or underperformers.
Yeah.
At a $17 million budget, that one made money and loads of it. I mean, that may, percentage-wise, be, if not the most, then one of the most successful movies this year.
But actually, if you look at it, though, horror traditionally, and I said this actually funnily enough on our member stream, is the only place where you can find these mid-level movies anymore.
Yeah.
That's because that's the only place the studio can expect to make their money back and or have a runaway success like this.
Which is why, Tom, and I think you'll agree, why the merging of Blumhouse and Atomic Monster is so good for Universal. Because, Universal has its hands, firmly wrapped around what Blumhouse is doing. And you're going to get, more wins for Universal on lower budgets. That's profit. They need profit right now. Like you said, Sony had a rough year. I would say outside of Bullet Train, and, which had an $86 million budget, made 238, probably did okay. May have broken even. I would say they had a rough go, because also in this year you had Morbius, which was a catastrophe.
Oh, totally.
At 162 million on a $75 million budget. They lost.
It had one saving grace. One saving grace, which may not have made it profitable, but that would have significantly mitigated the loss, and which would have made every single one of their other movies successful. Yeah. And that is the aftermarket. Basically, they have a deal with Netflix. Every single movie they make, because of a prior deal they have with Netflix, goes to Netflix at a fixed rate.
Well, and again,
even
that's
if Morbius lost money for them in theaters, they're going to get like what 50 million or something from Netflix, regardless.
yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, that is a win, and it may have made it so that film Morbius could have broken even. But there's no argument. The low budget horror films are killing it right now, and Terrifier 2 is an example, right? Iconic releases pulls this out. It was, gosh, it was made for next to nothing. We don't even know the budget, but it popped up to $11 million.
It was basically crowdsourced to a very large extent. Have you seen it, by the way?
No, I haven't had a chance. Tom's been trying to get me to check it out. So.
I'm kind of looking forward to the next one already. Like it's disgusting but intriguing.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I'm a more of a mental horror kind of guy. Psychiatric types of horror. I like that, but I'll definitely be checking it out because, like I said, Tom has been pushing it. But I mean, everybody's right in the audience, and you're right, of course, Andre. And we've got lots of examples where horror this year just kind of dominated earnings and made things profitable. Halloween Ends. I think even Scream did okay. I'm not sure it made money. I need to look at the budget, but
Jackass should have done okay. The Northman, unfortunately, was a big flop.
Yeah,
although it pains me to admit it, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think the Northman, and what did you think of Barbarian?
I haven't seen it. I've had it recommended to me up and down and everything, but I haven't had the time to see it yet. Same with the Black Phone.
Okay. Yeah, the
I
Black
Phone. DC League of Super Pets, though, if that helps.
Sure. How was that terrible film?
It was shockingly not too bad. Yeah,
really?
I saw it with my kids. My kids had a great time.
It was mostly harmless.
Yeah, it was mostly harmless. It was like I remember like one moment in particular. It's like when my then 4-year-old son, he was like wondering, "Where's Batman?" And then 2 seconds later, literally, Batman comes and makes one of the best on-screen entrances Batman has ever done. So my son had a great time watching it, and I was very happy with that. So good for its target audience, mostly harmless.
Yeah, $204 million on a $90-some million budget.
Not a great success, but
no.
Yeah.
No, and I guess ultimately that's the point. So this particular list from the numbers includes all of the top 100 films this year, right? Look at where Clerks 3 is, Tom. I know you'd like this one. Domestic box office, 4.59 million on a not reported budget here, but I know it cost at least that much.
Yeah, well, from what we know, Kevin Smith was bitching. My movie would have made money if they didn't put things on it like P&A costs.
Yeah, it's very strange. She said, Fablemans, this should not have been a failure. To date, it's only made $5.6 million.
It's only in limited release, I believe, yet, though, too.
Really?
I think so.
It's a little rough.
Yeah, it's got how many theaters? What you just went down? Where was it? I think it's 638 theaters.
Is that what it was at?
Yeah, it's not very many theaters. It's just getting rolled out. Yeah.
Well, didn't it come out in September?
No, this is a brand new movie. This is just getting rolled out for the holiday. It's Steven Spielberg's Oscar bait.
Oh, it was premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm like looking at it going, wait a minute.
No, I got to drive like almost, it's on the other side of Madison if I want to go see it right now.
Yeah.
It's at the special artsy fartsy theater.
That's not good. Yeah,
no, that's good. Well, that's just what it is for now until it gets released domestically. I'm not saying this movie's going to do great, but I'm not going to judge this movie until it actually comes out in full-fledged release.
Yeah, and none of the reviews have said very kind things about it.
I don't know. I've seen some mostly positive from the critics. I've heard some other people say that it might be overly woke, though. That's the other thing that has me wondering.
Well, I mean, and the conversation around it has also been that it deviates terribly from, some of the life points that he's trying to say he had, like a girlfriend, et cetera, et cetera. But that's neither here nor there.
Oh, he already did all that shit in the Secret of My Success. So what do we need it here for?
That's right. Well, Firestarter, again, would you call that horror? What would you call it?
I would call that a waste of fucking time. First of all, you got who the fuck is starring in that?
I don't know.
It went straight to theaters and on Peacock. Ooh.
Yeah, it made $14 million on an unreported budget that, if I remember right, was like 60 million.
I don't think no way Blumhouse spent that much on that fucking movie.
I think they spent an exorbitant amount of money on it. I'll look it up, but
but I have a hard time believing Blumhouse would spend that kind of money on a movie like that.
It was supposed to be one of the
looked cheap as fuck.
I'll look it up. It was very.
What I can well believe that the people behind Blumhouse decided, you know what, I want a new private island, and I want some of that money that everyone else gets. So we're gonna find a place to write off a ton of expenses here. Here we have this movie. We're gonna give it a $14 million budget, of which 10 million.
Yeah.
Of which 10 million are various consulting fees and other stuff that goes right into our own pockets, because we're doing really, really good and we deserve a payday. That's
because this didn't even have a star in it. Like at least the original one had Drew Barrymore at her height.
Seriously, I think if they had done like a biopic of the making of the Prodigy, the band.
There you go.
And how the song Firestarter came to be, that would have earned more, because that's a
I'm sorry, I put that in your head.
I would have jumped all over that. I'm a Firestarter. Twisted.
Exactly. And it's such a, like, you could have done like the Keith Flint biopic and called that Firestarter. That would be much more interesting.
Yeah, to me, Firestarter will always be Drew Barrymore. You don't need another one.
Yeah, I'm always looking at this, and I'm always saying, there were a lot of films that were made this year and released this year that really shouldn't have been. This one here has got to be the biggest embarrassment for Universal Bros.
Really, though, it's kind of like so under a radar that I don't think they're paying that much attention to it, to be honest with you.
Actually, I don't think it's a big thing for Universal themselves, because it wasn't expensive enough.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that it's going to be like a huge thing for them. Honestly, they lost more promoting the movie than they did on the movie itself. But the signal effect of its failure, I think, is far worse for certain quarters in Hollywood. There are many people who aren't even associated with Universal who will be mortified by how that movie did, because it was just yet another data point that goes to show some kind of things just aren't for 4-quadrant audiences. You can make them, but you can't make them at this budget, and you can't market them for wide release. And that, of course, have those that specifically want this kind of content to be released for wide audiences spooked, because that means that they can't. There's no business justification for it.
I'll add one to it. Woman King. Remember when what's her face was out there saying, and this is why when some people were laughing at her, I'm like, no, she's not wrong. When she said that if people don't go see this movie, they're not going to make movies with strong black women in the leads, and the same kind of thing with boys. And that's what we were trying to say, is they have woked themselves out of existence with this shit. They are their own worst enemies, because if they weren't pushing this agenda like they are so heavily, these movies would just come and go and the studio wouldn't give a shit. In fact, like Chris always says, and I agree with him, Bros wouldn't even have been what it was. It would have been a $2 million or $4 million low budget fucking film. And it probably would have made $15-20 million at the end of the day and been a little darling for the critics. And it'd be the breakout success of the year. But instead they decided to break the bank on this stupid thing. And it didn't really spend that much money in Universal's eyes. But what they did do, and Andre's right, it's killing Billy Eichner's career is what it's going to do. and it's killing the studios from taking any further chances on movies like Bros or movies like Woman King going forward.
Well,
Because they'll be less likely to take those kind of chances because of it.
okay, but you have another movie coming out that might rescue that whole thought process, and I don't know what either of you think. I haven't heard or seen anything about it, but it's called Spoiler Alert. The hero dies at the end.
That's the one that Chris has talked about, I think.
Yeah.
Or somebody has it.
I've only heard about it from him.
Yeah, it's got to be something Chris is talking about because it wasn't even on my radar until 2 weeks ago. So, but that is starring the guy that Jim Parsons, right? The guy that played Sheldon on
Sheldon.
Big
Oh,
Bang.
right, yeah.
And you know,
I've seen a little advertising for it.
Yeah, so have I, and it's an interesting, you know, kind of a tale in a gay relationship. The question is it going to go someplace, and is it going to bring in an audience, and is it going to perform? And
I can answer that right away.
Well, how much did they spend on it?
Yeah, well, I can answer it, but first, let's hear how much they spent on it. That's a perfect question. How much did it cost?
I have not seen the budget. I'm gonna look it up while you speculate there, Andre.
I'm just going to say it's going to flop. That there's no awareness, there's no interest, there's no marketing, and I think that's why we haven't heard about it, because everyone inside the studio, they already know that however good or bad the movie may be, we can't sell this, not in this market. The tide has turned, this ain't working, so we're just going to bury it, and we're not going to promote it. And that's why we haven't heard about it, because the marketing simply hasn't been there. Like, we heard about Gross a good 6 months before its release. We were aware of that. Spoiler alert, we only recently heard about. Like, if this is something that comes out in the near future here, well, that tells me, like, I don't know the release date of it, but if it's in the next
what if I told you what if I told you it came out this last week?
Yeah, it's already made. Well, it's only in a few theaters though.
Yeah. It's limited release, 82,000. It's only been in 6 theaters.
It's a focus feature movie though. So it's an Oscar fucking bait movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like the what's that other movie that Jim Parsons made where he played another gay man during the AIDS epidemic.
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Like the Honest Heart or something like that, which was honestly a pretty decent movie. But that was an HBO feature only. Whereas with this one, they probably wanted to get some Oscar.
I'm going to disagree with you, Andre. I'm going to say that they've been smart with their marketing campaign. I've seen a little bit of marketing for it, but I haven't seen it to the overgrossing effect that they did.
Well,
with
basically,
Bros.
Yeah, they've been smart then, but that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying, and I think what this is going to do is exactly what I just said. It's going to become that little critical darling. It's going to make a little bit of bank in the box office, and it's going to get nominated for a few Oscars. I mean, I don't know if the movie's any good or not, but I can't find a budget. But just going by the trailers and stuff I've seen, I guarantee you Jim Parsons spent half, if not more than half, the money Billy Eichner did on this movie. Because he's like directing it too, isn't he? Or he directed it too, didn't he?
I know he was. I know
like
he
a
was
producer or a director or something like that.
Yeah, I know he was deeply involved. I don't know, how deeply.
And because of that, I think they probably kept the budget down because he's not dumb.
Yeah, Focus Features, That's Wonderful Productions, and Semi-Formal were the people behind it. It's based on a factual book or article. So
see, and that's the thing is Focus Features is known more for their independent, low budget stuff. So I highly doubt they gave them the kind of budget Bros got.
It's under 2 hours. I'm gonna have to defer to Chris on the film quality and everything else. So, but we'll have to see if it gets a wider release that everybody becomes familiar with it. But I do need to get to a couple of chats, and I know Andre needs to get scooting here pretty quick. Or do you have any longer, Andre, or no?
No, I have 5 more minutes.
Okay. All right. Real quickly, we have Superman, if he wasn't scared of green rocks, with a member chat that says, "Hail, Culture Casino. He's right. Your vids are fire." Well, thank you for that. Peter shows helicopter tours for 12 hours. Will performance contracts see a great reset? That's a good question. I would say probably, but I'll defer that to Andre to start first.
Before you mean like the contracts of actors and stuff like that, the reset is going to be in terms of streaming, because like many actors have been like complaining about their back end points and everything like that, and I don't think that we have really seen the end of it. This is something that was brought home by the showrunner of Star Wars Andor, who even said explicitly to Variety that, like, since this is trade, I'm going to say it. I'm paraphrasing now, but
Sure.
we all think that we know what we're doing with the streaming model and stuff because we had it sorted out before, but we don't. We're just winging it. There's going to be lawsuits. So yeah, I think it's going to be a reset of contracts there. And I think it's just going to further in the point that there's no more movie stars. And there's not going to be movie stars payment. It's going to be far less payment going around for most actors. Of course, you're going to have some that can command more, but when the stars aren't the actors, but the characters, and the actors are replaceable, that's going to drive their salaries down. It's not like that they open that the movie is going to gross 100 million opening weekend specifically because that actor is in it. That may be true for Tom Cruise still, but it ain't true for anyone else. So yeah, I think it's going to be a reset where talent contracts are concerned.
Well, and Tony Gilroy's been able to spread himself across the various different forms of media, so I would say he's probably got a pretty good idea what's happening. Not to mention, I think we're going to see some resets when it comes to some of these union agreements too, because they're already resetting the whole of the entertainment business with layoffs. But I think things are going to shift. I think you're right, Andre. Tom, what do you think?
I agree with Andre, but I guess the only alternative I can give here is there might be more of a separation between the two, like a deviation going forward as we get further along. And what I mean is, you'll have certain stars that will be able to live on making theatrical films, and there'll be others that will settle into streaming, and once in a while streaming's going to have to just spend the money once in a while on stars, and then in the theatrical side of things they're going to have to go back to the whole point system again.
Right.
They're not going to be able to get the big ass paydays up front no more unless they're working for a streaming company. That's the only alternative I can see at this point, because you're right. There aren't any tested, tried and true movie stars. Even Will Smith can't sell a movie anymore, especially fuck the slap part of that. I mean, the guy hasn't had a hit outside of Bad Boys 3 in 10 years. So, I mean, like, it's really tough to really call anybody a movie star, because even Tom Cruise, as much as CultureCasino loves him, is not infallible. He's had a chunk of films here and there that don't do well. We've talked about The Rock, how he's not a sure thing as the studios like to pretend he is.
No. Well, and
actually, that's just where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah. To that end, I mean, I'm looking for, there it is, Black Adam. This was a huge flop. I know it seems weird, but it was only $384 million at the box office. It cost them $200 million to make. They got buried.
That's the problem right there, right? And of course, I mean, we've beat that nail that how many times?
Yeah, I know. Well, you and I especially, yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say here is, how do you cut that in half? Well, you don't pay everybody so goddamn much, and you give out a lot of back end points, which is not going to work out so well for the studio,
right?
But that gives them the incentive, though, then to get behind these things in certain ways. Like, the superhero movies are going to shift. We've talked about this before. I am not saying they're going to die off, but they're going to shift. They are going to have to get to this point where they cannot spend more than $75 to $100 million on these fucking movies, because they just can't.
They don't support it. I mean, they haven't for gosh.
I mean, basically at this point, if your budget hits $200 million, you have to make $1 billion.
Yeah. And
which is insane.
And I don't see that. I don't see that showing up. And I think somebody asked me. There we go. Final Monkey says, "How did RRR or Everything Everywhere All at Once do?" Well, let's look. I mean, I think that
they did moderately well.
Yeah, I mean, A24 didn't spend a lot of money on this, I don't think.
Yeah, this is the one that really makes me scratch my head, is how they were able to do this movie on $25 million.
Yeah, they didn't.
Every Marvel movie, that's the cost. You couldn't even.
This is not even a CGI budget right here.
Seeing that right there exactly. That tells me you should be able to make 4 of these fucking movies for the price they're spending on them. Right there.
Yeah.
Whatever deals they worked out with this movie with Michelle Yeoh and the other stars, because it had Jamie Lee Curtis and a few other. It's not like there wasn't stars in the movie.
It's bonkers. It's bonkers. $101 million, and it's a good film. So
I didn't like it as much as most people did, but yeah, I can't balk at the effects and what what it's done.
Everything Everywhere All at Once and RRR. Well, RRR didn't really get the kind of push that it did, but its global numbers are good. Here in the States, I mean, you ended up with $150 million worldwide box office, right? On
That
a
seems
budget.
low.
Well, again, I don't think that's right either. But international box office is 136 million.
It only did 13 million
It
domestically.
didn't. Oh, yeah, it didn't open wide. Tom, it's the same thing we were
No.
just talking about with all this other stuff. He only made it into a handful of theaters. I was lucky to be able
I
to
guess.
find a place that had it.
They
Right?
did dump it on Netflix pretty quick too.
Yeah, and it did pretty well. I'm a big fan of these things. You know that. I mean,
No, I'm not
loving it.
busting its chops, but I'm
Yeah.
just like kind of surprised. I thought it did better.
Yeah. And, Michelle, I hope that your husband safely returned to the earth with your daughter in hand safely, because it sounds like you were doing some Christmas decoration there. I guess there's a new Wes Anderson film coming out, Davinia.
Asteroid City. Okay, no, I wasn't aware of this, but
I'll have to
hey,
look
I
it
look
up.
forward to it. I just love when good movies just come out from the left field.
I'm not looking forward so much to the Wes Anderson movie as the next person who posts something as a Wes Anderson movie from an AI. Those have been really tripping my balls. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but yeah.
You mean A24?
No, AI, like an AI machine, they'll put in like, make this.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Like the
I
one that
see.
made
Yeah,
made Greta Gullum and shit like that, like that same kind of technology.
yeah.
So you tell the machine you want The Shining, but directed by and it comes back with some goofy ass fucking pictures. Like those are hilarious.
Okay, so basically, I want Pink Panther Part 6
Directed by
starring Peter
Anderson, yeah.
Sellers, directed by what's his face, the original director? Yeah, that guy.
Oh Jesus Christ, Robert Altman.
No,
Or no, not Robert Altman. The other one. What the hell's his name? No,
Blake Edwards.
Blake Edwards. Thank you.
That'd be great.
And just for fun, as Six pointed out, another Pink Panther directed by Rob Zombie.
That
There you
would be
go.
another fun one, is seeing shit directed by Rob Zombie. That'd be hilarious.
Well, or like take something like a comedy by Kubrick, right?
Well, that was, like I said, it was The Shining. Well, that was the one I saw that really made me laugh, was The Shining, directed by Wes Anderson.
Stripes by Kubrick.
Well, that would be interesting. Well, we already got that. That was called Full Metal Jacket.
I know.
That'd be something. But I think
John Candy is
I
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, I know you have to go, Andre. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us. Anything you want to promote? You guys have been killing it on your videos.
I'm getting punchy. Sorry, I've only had 3 hours of sleep.
You're fine.
Yeah. But anyway, of course we have live stream tomorrow, and I don't know exactly when it's going to drop because it's being edited right now. But we have a video on Troll that I'm very excited about, where we're going to take a very deep dive into the mythology behind trolls. So it's going to be a little bit about movie, but mostly it's going to be an exploration of the mythology of Nordic folklore and the troll lore, using the movie as a starting point. So yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that, and thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right. Take care, everyone.
All right. We got
Later,
a super sticker for $1.99. Thank you for the super sticker. I do appreciate it, from G Dog for a thumbs up. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Looks like, let's see, we think we got something else here. Eric K. Gifted 5 CultureCasino memberships again today, twice. This is twice today, Eric. Thank you, my friend. So you got
a total of 10.
Yeah. Shellback TJC, Carl, Sebastian Simonson, Vizrael, and Gutsy77. Welcome to the land of the members, folks. We're gonna tack on our member stream for Thursday. So be prepared for that, folks. It'll be a good time. Let's see. Who else rolled through here? Production costs have skyrocketed. Wait, production will have to be reduced. Yes, they have skyrocketed. They do need to be reduced. I don't know, Tom. You have to agree with that, correct?
Basically.
Yeah. And apparently, according to OC Dobbins, Brad Pitt is shooting an episode of Dave this week for about 28 grand.
Cool.
That's awesome. That paid for his flight. It paid for his private jet flight. Oh, yeah. I think half of that 13 million was Chris Gore going to see it multiple times. Yes, probably. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I'm sorry, guys. We were just chatting away right at the beginning. Francis Ford Coppola is currently filming Megalopolis. Yes, Tom and I have talked about that a few times. This is his potentially his magnum opus, although it could be a financial catastrophe. I don't know. What do you think, Tom? Because I know he's throwing in his own money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got just about another 25 minutes, folks, to get through, and then I've got actually places to go. I got to go hang out with Lorena Creel on her channel. Do check that out. We're doing the theme parks, geeks and divas. You know who the diva is there, so that'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, the Blood Origin spinoff. I actually recorded a video on that that'll probably air, if not tomorrow, on Thursday on that spinoff, along with the associated stuff around it. So a little bit of that. Let's see what else is happening here. I am not a diva.
Yeah, he is.
Let's get back to this list. Okay. The fact that Bob's Burgers is making more money than Strange World should flip everybody out.
I'm not surprised.
Bob's Burgers made 34 million plus, obviously $1.4 million in video sales, right? I'm sure that didn't cost all that much to make. I mean, it's basically just a long version of the show. Then you have Strange World, which right now is sitting at $42 million globally. This is a wide release Disney film. It made no money internationally.
It's not going to make any money, period.
I'm still flabbergasted.
I'm not. I mean,
have you noticed that Disney is now hiding the budgets on this stuff?
No, but I'm not surprised.
They've started hiding the budgets on this stuff. They don't want people to know just how catastrophic this was at $160 to $180 million production budget. Do you imagine that?
Yeah. Well, this is where I'm not surprised by the outcome, and I don't feel sorry for Disney. They could have shafted the audience and actually put some movies out there that people wanted to see, and they didn't do that, so they deserve what they fucking get at this point.
Yeah.
They could have put out their shitty Hocus Pocus sequel and Disenchanted and made a lot of money on those, and through Strange World on Disney Plus. They did not do that. That is their own fucking fault. And it's like I want to slap Zaslav upside the head and go, why didn't you release that fucking Christmas Story movie in theaters as well?
Yeah.
And then while you're at it, what the hell are you doing keeping Ezra around? But that's a whole
other kettle of fish. But look, I mean, even their monster properties, Marvel, right? This thing made $745 million.
This is one of the bigger disappointments, no matter how they want to fucking shake it.
Yeah. It cost
this
them
fucker was supposed to make $1 billion.
$250 million.
That's why I say this fucker was supposed to make $1 billion.
How do you do that? And you know what, Regal? Why does why would an animated feature cost that much? Did you see the budget for light beer? Let me see if I can get light beer up here. I think I can. Hang on. 1 second. There it is. Boom. Light beer. Light beer made $218 million on a $200 million budget. Why did this movie cost this much?
Cocaine?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Hey, Sol Leibowitz says Bob's Burgers has a cult following, as where Strange World was attempting to please a cult that doesn't spend money on cultist movies. Yes, thank you, executive producer Sol Leibowitz. Indeed. Still haven't watched Thor. Me either. I'm not finishing any movie. You know, have you noticed that, Tom? I start a movie and I don't finish it because
You have a habit of that.
That's weird. I never used to be like that. I used to make it all the way through them, and then I would tell everybody just how crappy they were. I don't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
Look at Turning Red. I don't think Turning Red made it into theaters, did it? Turning Red didn't make it into theaters.
Did it? I think that went straight to
it went straight to video.
Disney Plus.
Yeah. Pretty sure it went straight to video. Yeah, straight to yeah.
Somebody will correct us if we're wrong.
I'm pretty sure. You know, Devotion already has some numbers behind it.
Six said it was only streaming.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Devotion was it got some numbers on it, and there's some people out there that didn't think that was going to perform, but it's already at 15 million. Opened on 3,400 screens. It's been out in the theaters for about 2 weeks. I wonder where that's going to finish. We got a lot of stuff out there, but I mean, it's just been one disappointment after another. So if you're Disney, or if you're one of these other media companies, Tom, how much red ink can you afford? Add up every flop that Disney had this year, not just Marvel, because there was plenty of those, but add them all up. How much money did they eat in red ink at the theaters?
If they didn't have ESPN in the parks and shit, they'd be in deep fucking trouble. If it wasn't for Doctor Strange, like I said before, Doctor Strange is the only thing saving their face right now. And that's just a barely, because that barely didn't make $1 billion. That's the only reason. Because that was a success. Because going off of what the first Doctor Strange made, that was a success. But what it didn't do is manage to come even remotely close to what Spider-Man did, if you really think about it. Because that just shows that there was no real interest in return. You know, the grand, I mean, there was some return, obviously, business, but not as much as they needed.
Well,
a third of the people they are expecting to come back again did not, at least.
Look at those international numbers, though. I mean, that's $500 million, right? Yeah. You didn't see a lot of that international business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Elsewhere. And a lot of people were just pissed because they felt like they were lied to as well by Doctor Strange. And I think that's why everything since then has underperformed even more so.
$200 million budget, Tom. $952 million. This thing made money, but it didn't even. I'm telling you right now, Disney lost money in the theaters this year, and a lot of it. Well,
like I was saying, this is the only face saving they got right here.
Yeah, unsustainable. I mean, at the end of the day, Wakanda Forever is still performing higher than I thought, but I stuck with my 750 for a reason, you know. And yeah, look at the movie sales. Disney Plus is crushing long-term revenue. You know what, Little Chad? Tom and I have been talking about that forever. You're 100% right. They have destroyed other avenues of revenue, which is dumb. Oh, by the way, Floral, we love you too, buddy. Floral from Under a Rock for a Canadian $2. Y'all should be supporting Floral. Floral makes great content, does great live shows, and yeah, I like Floral a lot. In fact, you probably got to see if you caught the 6-minute daily this morning, you got to see the preview of a video that he just released on his channel of a Christmas song. So he says, "Love you both from the heart of my bottom." Okay.
I wrote a Christmas song for Dixmas.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited about that.
Did you hear it?
It's in my thing to listen to.
Nobody fucking listened to it yet.
I haven't had a chance, dude. What have I not? I've been working the whole day, just like you. You need to get a nap. And we're running out of time. Let's see what else we got. We got Brian Barth saying, I think they gave up on the Flash and aren't and are now praying for the worst. No, I keep hearing good things about the Flash. What about you?
I think people are distracted by flashy things, and I think they're just hoping that those flashy things can distract from Ezra.
I think they might. A lot of people have that would know have said the tests have been good since they did all the reshoots and stuff.
I guess I don't know.
We'll see. All I know is that we're going to get rid of 2 Flashes this next year. Because the Flash on the CW says bye-bye after season 9. In fact, all of the Berlanti-verse will be gone after this year from the CW, because the CW is not going to be doing that anymore. It's a huge waste of money. $2 for everyone in. That's bad. Very, very bad. Yeah, Disney makes money from Disney World and filter it into films. Amazon push Prime to buy for free delivery and discounts, but they say it's because they watch Prime when they don't. Laughing my butt off. Yeah. That I'm still seeing weird stuff about the Prime thing. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people use their Prime to watch video. Tom, do you use your Prime
more
to
than
watch
there
video?
were before, but not nearly as many as they hope. But then again, I mean, it might be getting better because correct me if I'm wrong. I think 6 sent me something about they're going to be doing a video only tier or something like that for Prime now, where it doesn't include the shipping and handling part. Just the
That'd be weird.
I don't know. I could have read it wrong. I tend to just read headlines sometimes. But she said yeah in the background.
Okay, well there you go. She would know.
You got another super chat. Speaking of 6.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, if you want to bring it up, that'd be awesome. Thank you. That's why I love that 6 is in the background here. This is great. Hey, there it is. From Captain Fandom Nerd. What's going on, buddy? For $2 says, let 6 on. At 6, there now you don't have to. What? Oh, 6 is on. She's what? 6 can be on if any time. 6 is always welcome. 6 is running things right. That's 6 doing that right now. Thank you, 6. You're awesome. Thanks for the $2, Captain Phantom Nerd. Willie's working and lurking. Lots of people hanging out.
6 says Tom doesn't read the links I send him. To be fair, neither do I. I do read most of the time. It just depends. Sometimes I just read the headlines.
I read everything, and that's why my brain's melting all the time. So, yeah. Let's see. Doesn't Amazon make most of their profit from Amazon Web Services? They make a lot of money from Amazon Web Services. Consider this: they make so much money they were able to build a bunch of facilities and just leave them abandoned recently. Just consider that, which is crazy. Just build a bunch of buildings that you were going to put like warehouse stuff in, and then don't do that. That's crazy. Sunday night is your jam. That's why it's always fun when you're on. Victor Fontaine says, I only sign up for free Prime membership I get offered once a year to catch up on the shows I want to see. Well, there you go. It's not a lot there, though. I mean, right now, The Peripheral, which I've watched through current, has been okay. It kind of fell off after episode 7. But just my opinion. Is that Prime only? What does it include? Subscription channels that you can get through Prime, like Showtime, etc.?
Yeah, you'll probably have to pay the little extra for them, but yeah, that's where it won't deal with the. My understanding of it is it won't deal with the shipping and handling part of it. It'll be a little cheaper or whatever. So yeah.
Well,
That was what I gathered.
They upped it substantially. You know, the price of Prime like jumped up like $20.
Which means that's probably what they're doing is they're prepping people for it. It's like, okay, you want to keep that, it's 20, but if you want to keep the other, it's 10.
It's weird.
Because they're probably losing more money with the shipping and handling, and they make more money on the Prime Video side. That's why.
They don't make any money on the Prime Video. I don't want to get into it.
Dude, I get what you're saying, but they aren't producing half the content as some of these other guys. They're doing okay.
But realize this, the only way that they count a show or a film as successful on Prime is if it brings
until Rings of Power. Yeah, I know. We've been through all this. Oh, that's prior to Rings of Power, though. Of course, right now. Yeah.
Nobody cares about Rings of Power. G-Dog for $10 with an awesome avatar picture. It says, Sayama Peterson, the sole creator of the animation series Astartes. It took him 4 years and blows Pixar out of the water. 40K is untapped and would be an awesome AAA experience. I agree with you. Yeah. I don't understand why. I don't understand why we don't have Warhammer the way that we should, or we haven't already. So yeah, it's crazy. You do read everything. I try to read as much as I can. But no, I think you're right. I think that's I think 40K would be amazing. I think they could do a real good live action 40K, believe it or not. I think a lot of people would be up for that. I would enjoy it. I don't know, Tom, what do you think? I know you're not a 40K person, Warhammer person, but
all I know is that Shark Week lacks diversity.
God, I read that story.
And it overrepresents men named Mike.
That was also dumb.
What the fuck? Utter fuck.
I was amazed at the dumb. I couldn't believe how much dumb.
How utter fuck shit stupid is that?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Did the Disney Star Cruiser crash yet? Yes. They've been running at under 25% occupancy for quite some time and have been offering discounts to Disney Vacation Club members. That's how desperate they are to fill that thing up.
I had to retweet that to the Babylon Bee. I'm like, you can't even write this fucking funny.
It's insane, right? People probably don't believe that's real. You want to bring it up because I'll put it in.
It's totally fucking real. I can't believe it myself.
I know.
Okay, here we go. I got it. Motherfucking, right. This is a good laugh to end the show on unless you got something else. Shark Week lacks diversity, overrepresents men named Mike. Scientists say there's not enough tiger sharks.
I think Culture lied. I still think he didn't read the member chat last time where I asked if Hogfather is an Xmas movie. I have no answer.
I don't know if it is either because I've never heard of it until he told me about it, and then he told me it's a lot like that Mel Gibson movie Fat Man.
Is it? I'll have to look it up and see. If it is, I'll give you my opinion. I just don't know. I plead ignorance on that particular film.
Okay, so
okay. Oh boy, can you make
Lisa
this?
Whitten.
Can you embiggen this? Because a lot of us are blind. Okay, thank you.
We can just make them read it for us too. All right.
This news story was written by Daniel Wu. Shark Week lacks diversity, overrepresents men named Mike, scientists say. Researchers say Discovery's programming overwhelmingly featured white men as experts while emphasizing negative messages about sharks. Lisa Whitenack loved sharks as a kid. She spent rainy days leafing through a guide to sharks in Reader's
Karen.
Digest.
This is just about a Karen, evidently. What?
Every summer, she would watch Shark Week, Discovery's annual TV event that spotlights the ocean predator with 7 days of dedicated programming. But when the scientists appeared on her TV screen, she rarely saw any women she could look up to. Why would I know I could do that? Whitenack said. I don't come from a family of scientists. I didn't see very many people that looked like me on television. Whitenack, now a biology professor at Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania, found her way into shark research anyway. When the pandemic lockdowns came in 2020, she saw an opportunity to study the source of her old misconceptions. Was Shark Week feeding audiences the wrong messages about sharks and who studies them? Whitenack led a team of researchers to examine hundreds of Shark Week episodes that aired between 1988 and 2020. In a study published last month by the Public Library of Science, their research claims that Discovery's programming emphasized negative messages about sharks, lacked useful messaging about shark conservation, and overwhelmingly featured white men as experts.
Okay, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it anymore.
This is hilarious.
How? Okay. Who's gonna know what the name of somebody is who's gonna go and fall in love with the sharks? This is just
great white
stupid.
privilege.
Oh.
Oh my God, this is one of the most Karen things I've ever heard in my life.
See, and this is where we need Mexican Iron Man here right now to go flipping off, going crazy right here.
He'd be like, you want to know why there's so many white men and going up against sharks? Because even Mexicans ain't dumb enough to do that. That's what Mikey would say.
Shark Week turned me racist, says War Monkey. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. There's more.
Including several with the same name.
Mike!
The programming featured more
Mikey!
white experts and
your
commentators named Mike than women, said David Schiffman, a conservationist at Arizona State University, who was a co-author of the study.
Now,
When
is
there
she
are
taking
hundreds of
into
people-
consideration how many women were probably actually in the field? Because I got to imagine this is not a very broad field of the scientific community. Honestly, can anybody look up real quick how many actual scientists are shark scientists? A dingo ate his baby. No, it was a great white. A great white dingo?
A great whitey shark.
A great whitey shark. He had great white privilege. And he ate my baby. We shouldn't make fun of that because didn't they find out later that actually happened?
Cancel all my mics.
Even though they kept pretending that, oh no, you killed your kid. No, they found out later on that wasn't true. I stole it from you, Clay. I think it was. Said it earlier. I totally stole it. That's right.
Karen, to the producers of Shark Week, I would like to speak to your manager.
Exactly. Look at this shit. When there are hundreds of people of color interested who work in this field. Where? When in my field there's more than half women. Okay. All right. How many of those women actually want to be on Shark Week?
I don't know.
I want some numbers here. Like, this is the most
well, and this article's from the Washington Post. Do you believe it's well researched? No. Guys.
A
All
baby
right.
ate my dingo.
Oh boy. Did she audition? I don't know, Final Monkey. I don't know. Hooper,
idiot. Ain't you watching him?
That's right.
You can't go down now with 3 barrels. You can't.
It's so
Now
funny.
with 3 barrels on him.
All right. On that note,
he's going down again.
We got to wrap up.
Jaws too many times.
Yes, you have.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, we definitely need a bigger boat. All right. On that note, we are going to check out. Tom's going to go to bed. 6, thank you. You're awesome. I hope I didn't miss anything. I'm looking in the private chat to make sure I didn't. Doesn't look like it. Very good. So we're going to run the outro.
6 just sent me something here. We've had one woman and non-binary person be in this field. One woman of color and one non-binary. Okay.
Well, I don't care about any of that stuff. I think it's funny that anybody cares. So if somebody isn't interested in a career, does that mean that it's my problem? Or anybody's?
They want to know the secrets of shark sex. Of course they do.
Okay. On that note, Tom, you got anything coming up other than a nap?
I should do mead, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to wake up for it.
And I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. I probably won't be there. I've got way too much.
Are
stuff.
you ever?
I've been showing up more regular.
I mean, really?
I've been showing up more regular. I've been trying to. I miss you. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right.
All right.
Are you
Thank
listen
you
to my song?
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who was here.
No.
All 112 of you, or 115 of you, however many there was. And yeah, I'm going to play it right now. So I'll be right back. All right.
Well, you end the show first, and then we can listen to it.
Okay. Be sure to take care of yourself.
Hold hands.
Take care of others. Wash your hands because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Father Christmas, give me some money.